colors I'm using today for this painting are your primary colors of red, yellow, and blue. And I have titanium white or white. Just now, as you can see, I have a little tiny bit of yellow because I have yellow in my bottle here, right here, but I'm running out. Okay, so what I don't like to waste paint, so it won't come out on this end because it's pretty well empty. But I like to take it and cut off the bottom, and that way I can scoop it out, the rest that's in there. I always, like to do that to my tube paints because why waste them, And there's lots in there yet. Look. And you may need a flat, I like these synthetic brushes because they give nice, soft, smooth lines. The bristle brush is good for tapping, okay? So you can use a bristle brush. So get a bristle brush, different sizes, because I don't know how big your canvas is. Mine's 16 by 20, and I have a liner brush here too. So, as you go along, you'll pick out different brushes, but if you have 3 of each synthetic bristle liners, then you should be ready to go. For this painting, as you know, we're doing a beautiful, huge tree, and we're going to have a swing on there with a little girl or boy or so we're going to have a big tree on here, big huge tree, and we're going to leave some room for a swing with a little girl swinging on the swing. I think that'll be pretty. But in the background I'm going to make just the sky, and this sky here is going to be very plain. So, and then I'm going to put a little bit of grass down here just so I can place a few things, and that'll get us started. And this will be your underpainting. And you might ask, what's underpainting, what's blocking in? Well, underpainting and blocking in is basically the same, but I think blocking is more to do with the shapes. You're blocking in the shapes. You're doing an underpainting for your background. So, terms like that will help you understand what the artists are talking about. So let's get started. I'm just going to put a little sky back there. So here's a yellow that is almost empty, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off so that I can get the extra paint that's left in there off. And I'm going to just cut off my scissors, and I'm going to cut down as far as at least halfway so I can get at my extra paint. All right. Okay, so there. Oh, there's lots of paint. Oh, look at all that paint. Lots of paint there too. So when I take all the paint out of that, get as much out as you can, and then you can lay it on your palette and just put it on your palette, right? So you don't waste any. And then what you can do to save this one here, because you may not need it right away, so to save that so you won't dry out on you, you can put the top back on basically, okay? There we go. So you just put the top back on, and now you still have a little bit of paint left in it. Okay, so hopefully that's a cute little tip for you. Help you save some paint. So first of all, I'm going to mist. Now you can use water. Just mist your canvas. And I'm using my magic recipe and for magic mist. And I'll leave the link below so that you can make your own magic mist. But you can use water, it's fine. Magic mist, what it does is it extends the drying time for you so you can blend all your sky in the background. But you don't necessarily need it for this one because we're not doing a lot of colors. We're just going to do an idea of a sky. You could also, to keep your paints from drying out on your palette, you can also mist with your magic mist. Okay, you can mist your paints, all right? And that way you'll be able to have a little more working time with your acrylics so they won't dry so fast. So I find magic mist is really good for a shorter drying time, but it extends the drying time of your acrylics. You can use the magic white if you want to blend colors. You want to take you want to take up to an hour to blend colors. You might have a huge canvas, so that would work for you. So get it misted up. The only thing using water is that it'll especially if you use too much, acrylics end up almost like watercolors. But experiment, see what you like. So I'm just going to try and get a little bit of a blue sky on there. I'm not going to do nothing fancy. But see, because I missed it, see that how it just flows beautifully? You know, and it is a little transparent because I did put a lot of mist on there. I probably shouldn't put as much. That's why you need to experiment, okay? Now to solve that problem, you just add some white. Alright, just add some white. See how smooth that is now? Alright. Now if we're doing a sky, maybe we're better off going back and forth. But this is nice. I like this actually. Trying to show you how you can blend beautifully even just with magic mist. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's coming out beautiful. That's really nice because if you go up and down, now when you go across, you're going to get some of this white coming through, almost like clouds. I'm going to blend it out. Use your biggest brush you can find, synthetic. Look at that. Pretty. See, you're still able to work with it. It's still wet. I'm going to add some white just to brighten up the bottom because as the sky gets further down by the horizon, it starts to lighten up. Yeah. Really nice. There we go. Good. When I use magic mist or magic white or magic paint or anything that I make up with my magic recipe, the magic recipe comes first and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can add paint to it, or you can use it as it is, or you can add water to it to make the mist, or you can add white to it to make the magic white. So start off with your basic magic white recipe. Alright. Like I said, if you don't have it and you want to start this painting, just go ahead. What I'll do is I'll leave the recipe I'll put it in the description for you. Put in the description for you, and I'll leave the link to where you can get your supplies. You might have some on you. You might have some home and you don't even realize it. See, that's nice, isn't it? It's different. Right? Now if you want a few little puffy clouds there, just take out I think a bristle brush might be nice because it might give it a nice puffy cloud. I'm going to use a round brush. These round brushes are great. You should try to get some. They're over to, you can get them at the dollar store, but I got some in my Amazon shop. So I'll leave a link to those too. And they're really good. So I'm going to add some white. I'm going to add a tiny bit of red to that white, just so that the clouds are not chalky. Make it pretty color. So it depends on what kind of clouds you just want to just make a few little circles like that. Kind of flip them out on the edges here, like whatever's left over on your brush. Shoop, right? Then make another little circle and then boop. Just come on out. Just wiggle your brush. Bring out some little clouds like that, right? We don't want too many. Load up again if you need it. And your paint is still wet, the blue paint, so that's going to give you the shadows in your clouds too. So that's the beauty of all this. It all works together so well. So these clouds are probably going to be covered up by the tree, but I want to have an idea of some fluffy clouds, just some faded ones back here, just whatever's left over in your brush, kind of just, you can squeeze it in there and just move it around a bit, that's all. And if you get a little top like that, leave it there. Alright, just kind of wiggle in some leftover paint on your brush. Right, just that's all. You don't need to do anything too fancy. And then when that, you go back in if you want, and you can put some highlights on those clouds. Just a little bit, just a little circle from the top. See? Because the paint is wet, you're going to be very gentle. You're barely touching the canvas so that that white paint will fall off. So pick a little spot and just throw on a little bit of that white paint. What you're trying to accomplish here is to get white paint to come off your brush. And put some highlights on those clouds. You just tap them on a little bit. Tap it on a little bit. Tap, 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 tap. There we go. Might want to tap. Let's see, where else would you think they might need it? Maybe it's a little bit down here. So don't worry about it being like mine now. Just tap on a little bit of white paint wherever you want it. On top of what you just did. Alright, so just a little bit. Now you want to wait for this to dry in order to put your tree on. So because I got magic mist on there, it's going to take a little longer to dry. So what you can do is use a hairdryer. There we go. Good. I want to soften up the bottoms of these. I wouldn't really worry about it too much. You could take a little synthetic brush and kind of just scrub at the bottom. You don't need to touch to the top. It's just kind of gives it a softer look, right? Or you can take a big fluffy brush, okay, like this, big fluffy brush, and move it around on the bottoms there. You could even, it's okay to go around your clouds. That'll fluff them up, make them nice and soft and fluffy. Try not to, you know, go up right into the white, because what'll happen is you'll end up losing. Unless you touch it very gently, then you'll be able to see how it's softening up nicely. See, isn't that pretty? See how soft they are? Clouds are not that hard to make. Just have to know. I might soften it up even more there, I think. There we go. You just have to know what tools work best. You know, you can use a Q-tip, tissue paper, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of goodies. It's a bit too pink there for me. There we go, see? Isn't that nice? That's so pretty, isn't it? Now you can take your tape off, and I put the tape on just so I get the horizon line straight, and I'm going to put some green paint on there. Just, I'm not going to make actual grass right now. I just want to do an underpainting, as we call it, so that when I put my tree on, then I can put better grass underneath the tree. So I'm just going to make a nice green. You can put your sap green on there if you want. I'm just going to make a green, nice bright green, or a medium, I guess. And I'm just going to put that on there. I don't have any magic mist down here. I don't need it because it's only a small area. Alright, add a little bit of white to that just to... Sometimes I add white to my paint a little bit so that it'll be more smooth. So that it'll blend nicely and be more smooth. See, because I was getting a lot of streaks. Right, so all those streaks. There's nothing wrong with streaks, especially when you're doing grass. But I wanted to show you that if you don't want those streaks, then you can add white to your paint, and that will smooth out those streaks. See, I'm giving you all kinds of little tips while I'm painting, because if I don't tell you now, I'll forget. I'll probably forget, and then I'll end up, well, I can do more videos, but I might just forget about it altogether. So I want to give you all the tips that I can while I'm painting, and then sometimes I'll do videos on tips and tricks. So keep an eye out for my tips and tricks, because I'm always looking for ways to make painting easy, fun, and unique. You know, unique different ways of painting and how you can do things. I'm going to do a video on how to do a painting and then add pastels to enhance your paintings and make it easier. So I tried that actually, and came out really nice. It really made a difference, you know, because sometimes you love to put small details in your paintings, but you just can't get them right because your brush is too big, or it just won't work right. And then these pastels can really make a difference, make life easier for you. And they're brighter colors too, because acrylics dry, as you know, they dry dull. There we go. To draw your tree, you can use chalk or pastel. I find the chalk wipes off easier than the pastel. So we want to do a tree so that we're leaving enough room for a swing. Alright, so we want to leave room for a swing. So we'll take the tree and we're going to bring it down nice and close into the grass here. We want a huge tree, right? We want a really big tree. So I think we'll come over here. Really want a nice big chunky tree, and we will come up about here and we'll come up. I want to make a nice, that will be, let's see. First of all, we want to get the trunk, right? The trunk is going to be nice and wide. So we got a nice wide trunk. We can change that if we want to, if we don't like it. We've got a nice trunk coming off of here. And then we want the tree to kind of thin out the top here. So we go up here like that. And then we will be putting some trunks off the tree. Right, put off as many as you want. We might have another one. Now we need another one here. Well, that would have that one, and then we will. I want to have a knot, and I want to have a trunk that comes up and over, so that the swing comes off of here. Okay, so we want a nice trunk here. Nothing that's going to break. We got a swing, right? So we'll just put our swing here and we'll worry about that after. So we got to start it. Now, let's fill it in with some paint and see how it looks. Now we're going to add a little extra paint to our palette. I'm going to add some burnt sienna. This is for the tree, and some burnt umber. Okay, so if you don't have burnt umber and you just have brown and black is good. See how the difference between burnt sienna and burnt umber? Burnt umber is really dark brown. So, and burnt sienna can have yellow and red in it and lightens it up. So you can have one or the other. So make sure you got all the limbs on that you want. If you're not sure, you can put them on any time. Right? You can put them on any time. You can put more here if you want them. You know. Just have a look around and see what, you know, what you would like on. Right? Just kind of play around with it to see what you like. Lots of limbs. So you take limbs off of limbs, right? So you got a limb or a branch comes off of here. Then you take another branch off of that and a branch off of that. And then we'll add smaller limbs with the liner brush. Now, it might look funny there now, but we'll go with our burnt umber. Burnt umber and our flat synthetic brush. Because remember I was saying synthetic brushes, they're nice and soft. Give nice soft. So that's what I want. I want nice soft. There we go. Soft strokes. And if it leaves streaks, that's great because trees are kind of streaky. And we get that edge there. To get a straight edge, just pull down. Whoops. Pull down, pull down, pull down. So you almost need to double load your brush, which means put paint on both sides of your brush. And pull down. You can have a nice little edge on your, see, because we're going to be putting grass and stuff there. Now you can use black for the center here. So I'm going to use my burnt umber because I didn't put any, and blue. That'll give you a really, ultramarine blue will give you a really almost black, maybe a little bit of red. And what else? What else? I think that'll do it. Nice and dark, almost black, but you can use black, it's okay. So I'm going to use that nice dark color here and make a Nice round, big old. There we go. As long as it's darker than the brown. Okay, now he's got to fill in that other side there. My burnt umber, because it's the tree. I'll show you how to make that come out, how that stands out. I'll show you that in a minute. Now all this is still wet, and I had it dry. I had the whole background dry, so this is just wet paint. I didn't mist it with anything or put any anything on it to keep it wet. So that looks good. Give those nice shapes to those edges there. See those edges here? Make sure they're not just straight. They're like when they're coming out from the tree, they got kind of a curve in towards the tree, right? Like this one here. Probably bring that in a little bit more just to give it a part of the tree like that, you know. So just have a look for those edges there and make it look like it's part of the tree. It's coming off the tree, so I want it to look like it's coming off the tree, right? Like that. Good. So let's add a few smaller branches. Let's add some burnt sienna, a bit of burnt umber, a bit of liner brush here. Just gonna add, I don't know, let's figure out where we want them. You can have as many as you want, but you don't want to overdo it, you know what I mean? Like, let's just get some of those off of there like that. So to make this stand out, we can make sure it's nice and dark. If it's not dark enough, you can always put black there. I want to make sure it's nice and dark. I'm just using a liner brush I'm going to outline it. And you can always shape up the knot there, big old knot. So I'm going to add white, just white to my brush. And I'm going to pick around here, we'll say the light is in here. But you'll see that when you put that little light in there, that's going to really make it stand out. So to make this stand out, we can make sure it's nice and dark. If it's not dark enough, you can always put black there. I want to make sure it's nice and dark. I'm just using a liner brush I'm going to outline it. And you can always shape up the knot there, big old knot. So I'm going to add white, just white to my brush. And I'm going to pick around here, we'll say the light is in here. But you'll see that when you put that little light in there, that's going to really make it stand out. So just make sure you get enough paint on the top of your brush and pick a spot where you want to add the light. good. So, just going to add a little bit more over here. And I'll probably lighten that up again after. But we're doing good. So that makes the hole deeper now, see? Makes it nice and dark. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some colors. Maybe a bit of blue. A bit of burnt sienna. I'm just going to put them. Now this one here, I like to have that come in here. So I'm going to highlight it. So I'm just using the chisel edge of my synthetic brush. I'm going to decide where I want that trunk to be seen. Okay, so we'll do it around here somewhere. Now just blend in with the tree. And then I'll just add some more highlights. So we want to separate, we want to make sure you can see the highlights. So just use your white, burnt sienna, a little bit of blue, maybe a little bit of red, doesn't matter, as long as it's lighter than what you already have on the tree. The tree is nice and dark with the burnt umber. And we're just going to add some of this here just to define that. Blend in with the tree. We have some coming down here. Using the chisel edge will help you get those nice highlights and in the right place. If you get it too light like that, then we'll fix that up after. We can just always add more dark. But the chisel edge, see how the chiseled edge is giving you those really nice shapes? Start at the top here, because it's going to be darker underneath. You have to remember where your shadows are, okay? But we don't worry about it right now, just get on what you can. But see, I made too much there, see? So what I'll do is I'll put some of my burnt umber back in there. But we're trying to establish the shape of the tree now too. I'm just scrubbing it on as if I'm cleaning off my brush. I'm going to take a bit of my burnt umber and put that in there too. So you might have to go back and forth with your colors, okay? Alright. Now, a bit more burnt umber. I think that might be a little bit too light. And you can go back in when it dries also, because while it's wet it may not get as dark as you'd like it. Good. And now we'll go back with the lighter colors. It's okay if your brush is dirty, because now you're going to lighten it up anyway. A little bit of blue, a little bit of red even. So, you know, get a bunch of colors and you won't get mud. You know, you'll get nice colors. Another nice color combination. And I'm going to try not to mix it completely, okay? Very gently pulling over those colors. Pulling over. And then, chiseled edge. So on top of all your branches. That defines them, see, it gives better shape. Okay, a bit more white, come drag it into your colors. The white will help you get that. Like I said, don't worry too much, you can always fix it after. Put too much on, or if you don't put enough on, we can always go back and forth, alright? Same with over here. Just start anywhere that you're comfortable. But start on the top, because you want to keep some shadow there on the bottom, see? So start on the top of the branches. And just little short strokes, whatever you're comfortable with, just as long as you don't cover up all the darks. So I'm just going to get a green color, take some red and blue and yellow. You can pick up burnt sienna, add that to it, and a nice dark green, but I don't want it to be too dark. I'm going to use a fan brush, but you can use any brush that you're happy with. And I'm just going to, a nice long handle brush here, and I'm just going to tap on, using the chiseled edge of my fan brush, just the tip of it, and I'm tapping in to get those grass areas. Now we got that nice swing there too. We're going to do that after. Got some chalk going on here so we can wipe that off. Alright. So you can leave some of that under painting there. See that green there? Let some of that come through. Right? Just skip over it. See that? See? And that will be a nice little way to get some of that grass poking up without you having to go back and try to figure out how to do that. So just tap on, tap off. Oh. So leave some of that peeping through there. Nice and green, nice dark green. So you can do this. You should be able to do this with a fan. If you don't have a fan brush, just use a chiseled edge. Let's see. I'm going to try a couple for you, so we can see what works best. All right, I'm going to use my flat synthetic to see if I can get some results with that. Okay, I'm going to use a couple of different ones. Not everybody has a fan brush. Oh yeah, that's good. Look, see? You can get that pretty good results with this. Pretty good, yeah. So you can use that kind of brush if you want. Synthetic. I do like the fan brush better. And you can also use the bristle brush. Use your bristle brush is good too, right? See, that gives you some really nice texture. You just tap, 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 tap. But you still leave some openings, okay, like that. Okay. Leave your openings. So all we're doing is putting shadow in the grass. Okay, so, but you can see the difference though. Right, so I'm going to continue on with the fan brush, but you certainly can change brushes and try different brushes and see what you're happy with. I'm happy with the fan brush, so I'm going to continue on with this. I like the way I left open the grass there, and that gives the feeling of grass peeping through, see? Good way to get grass without having to, you know, try to go back in and make grass. Trying to keep it nice and dark green. So I'm just adding a bit more. If it turns a different color on, you just add a bit more blue. Blue and yellow is the main colors you're going to need for your dark green. So if you add reds, yellows, and it turns too different, then just, but look at that. Now, that's wonderful. Now what can I do at the back here? I think I'd like to just pull up a little bit of grass there just to give it an effect of maybe there's trees back here. Maybe it's a far distance away, maybe it's just grass, I don't know, but give it something. Just something back here, just tap a little bit, corner your brush, that'll give it the illusion that there might be some trees in the distance or something, right? Because the tree is really close to you, which makes it look like back here is really far away. Because you got the sky. Back here it could be hills back there. There could be whatever you want back there. Just putting some trees in there just to say far away. Some trees. Maybe. Just tapping the corner of my brush. Yeah, my fan brush. And it gives the illusion of trees in the distance. And like I said, you can have hills back there. Just the corner of your brush, and that will give you these little shapes that look like trees. Tap up a little bit away so that you can get some different heights. I didn't mean to go that high. I didn't mean to do that. Oh. I don't want to be too high, see, because I want to be nice and distant. Get that distance going on. A lot of people ask, how do you create distance in your paintings? How do you create depth? Well, that big tree, that huge tree really gives it a nice feeling of it's really close to you and everything else is far away. So I'm going to put some grass up around the tree. Just tapping and touching and tap, 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 tap with some yellow paint so that it looks like highlights and things going on there. Just kind of move my brush around, trying to see what I can get out of it. Just take, you can put flowers down there. You can, we might put a few flowers around or something down there after. I just want to get this started first, and I'm going to tap on some of that just on top of some of those dark ones that I put in there, or maybe under the ones that are sticking out. Maybe I'll add a little bit of yellow on top of those. Kind of like them the way they are, but on the swing, and I'll send you the pattern, and I'll what I'm doing is I'm just taping it on where I want my swing, and I'm using carbon paper. This is carbon paper, and you put that underneath here, and then you draw it on, trace it over it with a pen. Okay, now if you can do that freehand, you certainly can. If you don't want the swing there, you don't have to have it, or you can have a swing by itself if you don't want to go through the whole process of doing a person. So I'm going to make a gray color. I'm going to put gray here, almost black. So I'm going to make my black, or you can use black. Okay, I just have the colors here, and I like to show you how to make colors. I like to do teach you as much as I can while I'm painting. And so I'm just putting some red and ultramarine blue, burnt umber. All right, see, it's almost black now, right? So we'll use that. I'm going to put that on just so we can get something started with a small round brush. Alright, so now we have to imagine that's going up around that tree. So I would have to extend it up here so it looks like it's going around that tree. We wouldn't want that to break off, so we gotta make sure it's wrapped around good. And then we'll bring it. Now with the small round brush again, put white on there. Now the paint might be still wet, that'd be good because I want a gray color. So I'm putting white on there, and I'm just going to go and make that into a little chain. I'm going to go pull on that side, pull over on that side, that. So I'm going diagonal to the left, diagonal to the right. Almost like a letter X. So that's all there is to that. Just to make it look like a little bit of a chain or something there. And now we will work on the girl. So you can have whatever clothes you want on her. You can go by the reference photo, but you can change the color of her shirt. You know, I might go pink on mine. Pink with the pink boots. The pink boots are so cute. So I'm just gonna make some pink. Just gonna make a bit of pink. I wanna make it more on the red side than I want light pink yet. I can always lighten it up after. I just wanna put something here because it needs shadows and things to it. So I just wanna get it started. Put something there just to get it started. Okay, and then there's another boot here. And then add a bit of blue to that red to get a purple color. That will be our shadow. Nice dark purple. Right there. Put that over here just to get that shadow in there. Just using the chisel edge of my flat brush. If I forget to tell you what brush it is, you can almost tell by looking at it. I'm only using flat synthetic brushes and a little round brush and a bristle when I need it. But, oops, now she got a fat leg. Oh, that's okay. It's okay. So now I'm going to add some more of that pinkish color. More white this time than red. White, a little bit of red. It's going to be really bright pink. So we can get that on this side here. That's where the light is. And there's a light here. And a little bit here. See? See? And now we're going to do the bottoms of the shoes, the boots, and they're a beige color, would you believe? So I'm just going to add some white, a little bit of my burnt sienna, very little, just enough to get a tan color. And then you're going to put in that boot. I can't see it because better off use a bit of chalk for the dark spot there. We'll guess, we'll guess. I'm sure we'll manage. Okay, good. So, that dries a little bit, I'll add more. I can add a little bit of white there now in the corner of my brush, or you use your round brush. Your round brush is probably better. That's the heel. Just putting on the corner of my brush. So I get that heel in there. And then I'm going to put a little bit down here and kind of leave the center a little bit more because that will give a bit of a shadow there. I would think a round brush would do much better. Had a little bit of a hard time controlling the brush. Okay, well, we got that much done. All right, so that's good. So now I might do her blouse or her shirt or sweater in a pinkish color to match her boots. So I'm going to go with red, a little bit of white, and I'll always lighten it up after, but see if I get a nice pink color. You already have a pink in a tube. You can certainly use that too. You don't always have to mix your colors, but it's kind of nice to learn how to mix, you know? Yeah, I like the pink instead of white, but you go ahead and paint it white if you want. just want to add a little color to the painting, that's all. As for the skirt, I might go a dark blue or something. Yeah, I was going to go green because pink and green would be like complementary to each other, but there's a lot of green in the grass down there, so unless we go really light green or something. But I think the dark would be nice for contrast. Dark skirt. Where that arm, where you drew that arm, keep that, see if you can keep that line a little bit so you have an idea where the arm ends for your shadow, okay? A little space there or something that you can tell where that arm ended. Alright, so same here. Try to keep a little space where you're going to have shadows or a separation so you know where the arm is. Alright. And you can put anything or anybody, you can even put your own children on the swing if you want. If you have a picture of them back sitting on the swing already, or you can take pictures of them, or you know, take a picture of them if they're already on a swing. It'd be great. You can take pictures of them when they are, and you take them to the park, and then you can set it up so that when you print it off, you can print it off to the size that you want on your canvas. Mine's a 16 by 20, so if you do a smaller one, then you're going to need a smaller picture printed off, right? Or you could use this for a reference, and whatever color your child's hair is, you can paint it to look like your own child. Now let's do the skirt. I think a round brush would really be nice to suit some of those lines out so they won't look so, I don't know, just to soften up a little bit more. I might come back to it. You know, I'm just trying to get something there to have something to work with, right? So it doesn't have to be finished, and you might do your shirt or your sweater and look really odd or won't look right. That's okay, because you can always go back after it and then go back and because at least this is giving you something to work with. So it's not perfect right away. Think of it as just actually having something to work with for your next venture. Well, for your next step in painting, okay? So I'm going to go with the dark blue so I can have contrast. It's almost black here in the picture, so I might add a bit of burnt umber to it. You know, just mixing up some of my paints here. And just see what that's like. It's almost black. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Lots of contrast there, see? You know, dark against the light color. Really makes that light color stand out. Just watch. See how it's making it pop? Good. So, good. And then you can add a little bit of white to your blue, your dirty brush, just a little bit of white for a highlight. Give it kind of a highlight, kind of swirly highlights. Try to give that dress a little bit of movement. As you can see, I accidentally went up their shirt, but I'm not going to worry too much. Alrighty then. So I'll clean off my brush and I'll fix that little shirt there. I don't want to forget about it because then I might leave it there by accident. So I'll just put a little bit of my pinkish color back there. So you can fix things, and we'll get the get some black, or almost black, on the swing part. All right, so the swing is sort of like this. Comes in here. And over here. Good. Swing here. That should be okay. Maybe it comes out a little bit further. Make it look a little even with the other side there. And now we will add a highlight with a dirty brush. I'm just going to add a bit of white on the corner here. edge. All right. So you need a small brush with a tip on it, but you can use your round brush, so you'll be able to get a little better. Right? White and then a bit of blue up to the chain. All right, at least you can see it. Right? You can see it. See, now she'll probably look good with a head. What do you think? Okay, so now I'm going to try her head. And her head is, and her hands. So let's go with flesh tone color and get her hands done. I'm just going to start with white. All right, start with white and a little bit of red. And a little bit of burnt sienna would be nice in there. Maybe even a little bit of yellow. That's a nice color, isn't it? Right there. It looks pretty good. Okay, so let's get our hands going. Just use a small brown brush. Like I said, whatever you can work with. I'm going to add a little more burnt sienna to that because it seems to be kind of light. A little bit more. That's a bit better. I'm going to put just white on my dirty brush. Add a little bit of highlight to the edge here. See, the paint is still wet, so it won't come out too white. That won't be too bad. To the edge here. See, it gives it like it's the sun is shining on our hands. Now let's do the other one. So the same. Yeah, that's too dark. See, I mixed that in. Stop that. So we will take white to begin with, some red to make it nice and pink, some burnt sienna or a bit of brown, and enough to, there you are, enough to, so white, a bit of red, maybe a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of burnt sienna or brown. And then we will add our highlights. She is. fingers are coming in from around. Okay, so that's her hand wrapped around there, and that's her thumb right here, and that's her fingers. So we'll have to add some burnt sienna to make it look like fingers, which is fingers, little dots right here. That's her fingers. That's her thumb. That's her hand wrapped around, coming around with her fingers. Okay. A little bit of highlight to make it look a little better. That's better. It's really hard to see, you know. But the highlights will help bring out the hand more. That's her thumb right there. Her thumb comes up a little bit higher. That's her hand. That's her thumb. Fingers. A little bit of white, try and get it a better shape. So it's got a highlight here in the sun. I'll fix the chain link thing there. And her thumb is here. There we go. So you play with enough, you'll get it. You'll get it eventually. So you can work on that. I'm going to have to work on it. I can see that I need to work on that. So I'm not going to worry about it right now because I want to get this done for you guys. So then we got her here, which is a blondish, dirty blonde. So I'm going to add some of my burnt umber and burnt sienna together. Give it a kind of a dirty blonde look. And then I'm going to just add in her here. I'm going to streak it up just so I can get a feel of her here. You can fill it in, but then I'm just trying to get a feel that it goes upwards. She has a bun here, so go with the shape of the bun. It goes around in circles, alright? Goes around circles. Got a bit of a lighter color on my brush by accident, so I'm glad that happened because I'll stick a bit of white in there because what happens is you won't know where it's going. So that little bit of white there helps mixed in. I don't have it mixed in. I kind of made my here, right, with my burnt umber and burnt sienna, and then I kind of went into my white in the corner of my brush and I just put a little bit in there, and then I let that fall in with the rest of it. Okay. Trying to get the shape of the hair. There we go. And then we will add we'll highlight the hair in a minute. Let's go back with some skin tone. White, red, pink. Get a nice shaded. I just kind of mixed white in with the colors I had made there just to get the tone that I want. Probably a little bit more red. So red, white, yellow. bit of brown or burnt sienna. Just the neck. Goes up here. Got a bit of an ear there, so I'm going to add a little shadow. Around the ear. Right, and then there we go, a little shadow here. Shadow here. I just darkened up the flesh tone with a bit of red, that's all. And I'm going to go in white. My brush is still dirty. I'm going to go with just pure white, and I'm going to add that to the corner of her neck here. And I'm going to add a bit too. Let's see where else there's white. There's a bit of white down to the corner of her ear. And my brush is a little bit too thick. You need a brush that has a really good tip to it. Right? A really, really thin, rounded tip. Maybe you try to round it out with your fingers. Sometimes they're hard to get. You know, to get that round tip. See, because I got too much here, right? So, because of my brush. So a lot of times you do things and it's not your fault. It's just because your brush is kind of not the right brush. So I'll put that at the end of the face there, and I'll darken up that ear again with some darker color. So these little small areas are going to be a little bit tedious. Now, I'm going to work on this again after. Smooth it out, make it more like a face. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take some white on my brush. I'm going to wet my brush. I'm going to take some white. My brush is really wet. I'm going to take that wet, almost see-through here, and try to give her some flyaway here. She's on the swing and she's flying away there. There we go. I'm going to get some up here. The sun is shining on her hair. It's flying everywhere. See, it's flying everywhere. Some more. right into the hair. Some more white. Now you're not going to get as much water. You're going to make it even more brighter now. But you got to keep those curves going, all right? Try to make a smile. Try to make a smile. Smile, smile. Backward C, forward C. Let's make a curve. More down here. Now see, now that you got those see-through ones, now you can go with more opaque but thinner on top of what you just did so that you can see the hair better. See? Got to get that thin tip of the brush. Follow what you did, but this time you're just going to make these little thin lines over what you just did. Good. So I'm going to go and get another brush here, try to get a finer tip. So I want to get those nice thin lines coming out. You want to get that shadow over here in there, so use that shadowy color, that burnt sienna, burnt umber. Get that in there. And then take let's see, white, maybe a bit of yellow, maybe a bit of yellow coming down out this way because our bun is up there, so that's nice. I can break that up, so it's nice. And then you got these yellow go around like that, see? Good. Hair's flying all over the place. That's so cute. Alright, so that's just my freshen up our shirt a little bit. See what else we need to do now. So let's do some touch-ups. How about we fix this corner of the tree, which is burnt umber. A bit of burnt sienna maybe. Yeah. So I'm thinking, well, this tree needs adjustments here. I don't know, I think I like to bring it out a little bit. I don't know, it looks like the tree is bent over here nicely. But it's like it's not, you know, maybe it don't have to be, but I just feel like I need to do something there. No, it could be. I'll put some grass there now after. What else do we need to do? It all looks pretty good. You know, you can do whatever you want with it. Just make sure those branches look like they're coming off the tree. Fix up some of your branches if we have to. Just want to make sure it looks, I think I'm going to add a bit of white. A little bit of blue, a little bit of red. Just drag some of that over there again. Highlight some, give some more highlight, just a little bit. Doesn't need a lot. Just want to add some color to it. See that red falling off there? Isn't that nice? Greens, blues, whatever. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I just thought it'd be nice to get a bit of color in there. So, let's get some here. Nice colors. Oops, I went outside the line. Oopsie daisies. I'm just having fun now. See, you might not want to do this because it may not suit your painting. So it kind of gives it a bit of a brighter color. Oh, all I'm going to do next, I'm not going to do anything else because you don't really need to do a big lot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my big old 1-inch chip brush. Just going to take my 1-inch chip brush, a little dirty, but that's what acrylics are all about, and oil paintings and all the mess that you get into when you use paint. So let's just take this and add a few little white flowers to the beginning of it here, and probably a few little, what I might do is add a little bit of yellow to my brush and just tap a little bit more highlights here with this brush. All right, Don't get them up into the trees. Just a little bit of highlight, not much, just tap here and there, kind of making these little, maybe some little daisies in the grass. That's all. I'm not putting you can put flowers in if you want. I'm just going to do some of this. Just let the brush do the work for you, okay? See? The brush will do the work for you. Now this time we're going to go into pure white. Okay, pure white. Tap it in your hand if you got to open up the bristles. Make sure the bristles open right up, because that's what you want, to get each individual bristle with white on there, and that will give you those little flowers in the field. Okay. See? Some will be bigger than others because the bristles, some bristles are smaller than others. That's all we need. We don't need much. I'm just going to put a couple over here. I don't think I need too much more. I don't want to... My problem is I overdo it sometimes. I get so excited about how it looks, and I like the way it looks. Smaller ones should look further away. The closer you get, you can put some bigger ones there, so that it gives it distance, depth. So your brush will do the work for you. Okay. See? See how your brush is getting bigger ones and smaller ones all at the same time? Get a few little over here. And turn your brush different ways to get different shapes. That's pretty. I like that. You could add different colors if you want to. You can have yellows and reds and all that good stuff. But I think, you know, I need to work on a shirt. I could do that while you're watching, or you can do that. I think that's about it, though. Let's see. So I like her hair and that. I like, you know, I like the way it looks fine. Just a little bit on the shirt side. Not really sure. That part there is sticking out too much, I think. Yeah, I'm just smoothing it out. I think that's better. That was dry, so I could paint over it, and some of it came through, and that way I could keep some of the work that I already did. See, these final whites, they really finish your painting. So when you're done with your painting, go in and see where you can put white, because that will really change. It will really, I don't know, give it that really finished look. See that? Gives it a nice finished look. Pure white on top, because it won't look chalky, because the color underneath will come through a little bit. Right? A little bit of highlight. If you don't want it too bright, just add a bit of blue or pink. that's better. That's much better. Good. So that's nice. It wasn't too hard. All these simple little tricks and tips I gave you. If you want some leaves on there, you certainly can do that. Or if you want some, I don't know, some smaller branches, you can take your chip brush again. I'm going to call it chip brush from now on because I never really said what kind of brush it was. I just said it was a bristle. But they're called chip brushes. Right? So what color leaves? So we have a really dark green or maybe some reds and oranges, yellows. Maybe that would be nice. Maybe there's a little bit of fall going on here or something. So if you use this brush, you won't have to worry about trying to make these little tiny, right? Tiny leaves. So just dipping in some red and yellow and trying that. Maybe it's, you know, she got a sweater and it's probably not that warm. Who knows? Could be cold out. Could be cold. Yellow and red mixed together like that. Doesn't matter, just some blobs because you want some bigger ones. Don't push too hard, that's the only thing. See, that brush is amazing, isn't it? I don't have to do any work at all. Maybe some of these falling down on the ground. Maybe they're falling down. A little bit here, a little bit there. Maybe something fell on the ground. Falling down. I don't want to overdo it because I'm very bad for overdoing things. Don't know when to stop. You guys said, when do you stop? I can't even figure out how to stop myself. Now that's cute. I think I'll leave that. It's kind of nice. Adds a little bit of color to it, doesn't it? Is that prettier? Or I like it. Just the ones on the ground. I didn't have that down. I keep saying to you that just times that where I'm doing the videos myself, I might forget to move the camera down, so I'll just tap down the same down here. Okay. Just tap down the same. It fell down on the ground. These leaves fell on the ground. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. I think that looks nice. Let's call it childhood memories or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this today, and if you did, let me know in the comments if you need any help or you know what you liked about this painting, and I hope you learned a lot. So I'm going to do another painting, getting another one ready for you, and I will see you in the next video. Saying signing out from Allison Prior. Bye. Have a great day.